Hey guys, it's Eric Weingarten with Weingarten Racing. This is a short video to remind you guys that at midnight tonight ends your last chance to get entered into the small block Ford Cam Challenge. For some of you that are new to this channel, thank you for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. But what this is, I did a Cam Challenge back in October. Several of you might have watched it, but it was an LS, so maybe some of your small block Chevy or somebody else, you may not have even paid attention. But what we did was there were 23 competitors, and I tested all their cams on an engine, and they were graded, and we scored it, and there was a winner. And because of its success, we decided to do a different one, but with a different engine family, and this one being the small block Ford. Well, there are already 10 that are locked in because they're from the last Cam Challenge. Those are 10 there, but there's still 5 spots that are available, and then 5 alternates. So if time permits, I'm going to get to those alternates. So I'm paying for a week's worth of dyno time, and if I get to all of them, I'm going to get to all of them. So that's how it's going to go. So that's what it's about. But you've got till midnight to email me at weingartnerracing@gmail.com if you're interested in entering that small block Ford Cam Challenge. Now, I know right away some of you are thinking, wait a minute, there's not enough time. Look, you said this is going to take place between February and March. I can't get a cam in that time, so I can't enter. I ain't got the time. Here's the thing I said about it, and I posted the official rules are always going to be posted on my Weingartner Racing Real Weingartner Racing page on Facebook. But I said I will give you at least 8 weeks after I give you the final rules. So, and what I mean by that is there's preliminary rules, but they're not all there, and here's the reason why. Because I don't have the full specs of the engine. Once I have the full specs of the engine, I'm going to lock it in. You've got 8 weeks to get a cam, or a little bit longer. I'm going to call a couple cam companies to see what's their average wait time, and that's how much it could be. So as much as I'd like to see this Cam Challenge take place in February to March, probably won't happen. Probably now pushing more towards April, maybe even into May. Which I know somebody like, well, you're just like one of those guys. I do everything I can to make things happen in the time I say it's going to happen. But there are other pieces to this puzzle. It's much harder to get Ford stuff than it is Chevy for sure. But anyway, if you want to enter, you got to email me at weingartnerracing@gmail.com. And tomorrow, I'm going to draw out their names. So just because you put your email to me doesn't mean you're in. 5 of those names will be, of the people that email me, 5 will be drawn out and you'll be entered. Another 5 will be alternates. Chances are at least some of them will get to run. You then have to pay your entry fee and you're in. So what do we know about the small block Ford Cam Challenge as it sits, since you're probably watching? Well, here's what I could tell you. Kuntz is building the short block. It's a 427 short block, dart block. It looks like it's going to be a flat top piston. So roughly the compression ratio is going to be on 11.5 to 1. The heads are going to be some trick flow 240cc high port heads, but I'm going to do some additional port work on those. So they're going to change from what they are stock. They'll have 2 125 intake valve, 1 600 exhaust valves. This will be a solid roller deal. Max lift, I'm going to tell you, is 780. The RPM range would go from between 5,000 and 7,500 RPM. And then, this is the other thing, is the intake manifold that's going to be used, that I know for sure is going to be the BMP 4500 top Dominator. And that's what we're going to run there. As far as carburation, it looks like we're going to try 2. We're going to have a gas one and an E85 one, a Dominator 1050. And that's what you're going to be scored on. You have 4 scores for each carburetor. Peak horsepower, peak torque. Average horsepower, average torque. For both carburetors, for a total of 8 categories. And the one that has the lowest number, you win. Get that in. You've got till midnight tonight. I'm drawing the names tomorrow, and I'll do a little video announcing who's in it and who's going to get the chance to prove what they got. If you're one of those cam guys, and I have to say it, there are a lot of people on the internet that are cam gurus. None of those, well, I shouldn't say none. Very few entered the LS one. Very, very, very few. But a lot of them still running their mouth. But here you have another chance. So now you thought, he ain't going to ever make it happen, and it ain't going to happen anyway. Here's your chance if you're one of those guys that are like, I know everything. Especially every engine family's got their cam guys that are only good with this cam, their engine family. If you're one of those guys, here's your chance. If you're a Ford guy, because I know there's at least 4 of them that I could think off the top of my head that showed no interest. Here's your chance. Kind of prove it. You have to stack up against everybody else, so it won't just be the internet. You'll actually be on a dyno and have to prove it. But anyway, that's what it is. And by the way, I'm not knocking any of them. If you entered or not entered, that's up to you. And from a business standpoint, I get both ways. So you don't want to hurt yourself if you do bad. And then if you're already successful, why would it help? It can't help me. It can only hurt me. So, but then again, if you're like, I'm best, I'll prove it. There's your chance. This is the best chance you're going to get. So anyway, there's that. And then this happened yesterday. Let me show you this. This is my son. This kid has been working his tail off. We're talking 3-hour practices in the morning, then 3 hours in the afternoon. We're talking getting up at 4 a.m. and just grinding it out, trying his hardest, working as hard as he can. And it's finally starting to pay off towards this part of the season. He got swimmer of the meet yesterday for Broken Arrow. Yesterday, he competed at Frontier Valley Conference. It's like it was at Jinx. And it's pretty much all the schools from the Tulsa area were competing against each other. He swam the 200 free and the 500 free. He won both heats. Now, he didn't win the whole thing, but in both of those heats, he won both of them by less than a second. We're talking 0.2 of a second right there, and it's from hard work, paying off. Not to mention doing all that swimming, so 6 hours a day of swimming, still doing college credit classes, still keeping up with his grades. I couldn't be more proud of this kid besides just being a great swimmer. I'm extremely lucky, and he's also about to turn 18. So I'm so proud of this kid. As a father, you'll understand why I'm bragging on my son. If you aren't, I don't know what to tell you. But this kid, man, he's great, and I'm proud of him. Anyway, guys, remember, I don't port cast iron heads. I'm no Superman. Get your entry in for the Small Block Ford Challenge. You guys take care.